What was that funny thing? Wait, what was that thing I said before? We're
live.
Hi, we're live at midnight in Hong Kong.
I forget the joke that you were going to say.
I had a joke I was going to say and I forgot it because I'm tired and dehydrated. Oh man, it was a good joke. You would have loved it, I swear.
Oh my god, it was
what
good.
Was it?
Well, can we just start this live thing over, or like maybe we can cut and edit?
We can't cut.
No?
We can't. This is why we write scripts, except on China Unscripted.
Yeah, this is why China Unscripted is not a video.
Yes. So we are here in Admiralty, as you can see behind us.
Can you see behind us?
The protests are out of control, completely wild. Somebody gave me a bottle of water. Somebody offered Shelley a sandwich.
Yeah. Maybe, I don't know if you can hear in the background, there are people singing a hymn. The same hymn they've been singing for hours.
Yeah, that song's going to get stuck inside your head.
Yeah. So, very wild and crazy riots like the Hong Kong government has been saying, basically.
So we've been following the parade all day. Apparently, I've heard estimates that it was about 2 million people. I can't confirm that yet, but that means it would be 1 million more than last week. So this was definitely a sign that I think the Hong Kong people are not too happy with Carrie Lam postponing the extradition bill.
Yeah, how are you going to confirm the 2 million, Chris?
I will check our video footage and count every single person. And by that I mean I'll make Matt do it.
Well, yes, organizers have said it's close to 2 million, and that honestly seems about right, with our experience.
So many people.
And you could see, from footage people were posting on social media hours after we had been somewhere and it had been incredibly crowded, it was still like that 2, 3, 4 hours later.
Yeah. They also even have set up their own recycling. So they're very organized. So, you can ask us any questions you like in the, the comment section, or however these live chat works. We've done 2 today so far, but this one's probably more geared towards, people in the Western Hemisphere, since it's probably a little more your time of day now. Shelley, do we have any questions? Greetings from Brazil. Wow.
Someone says hi from Norway.
Oh, nice. Yeah, over there is the recreation of the Lenin Wall, and there was even a post that said "Hi from Catalonia." So, definitely support from all over the world.
Somebody asked us how we can use YouTube from China. That's because we're not in China, mainland China. We're in Hong Kong, which has the internet. Yes.
So far, internet has been a bit spotty though because of how many people are using.
Yeah,
the internet.
There's several 100,000 people behind us, all on their phones. So it's been a little hard to get internet. That's why we're up here.
Yeah. Sukhdeep Singh has donated us €2. Yeah, I know you've been asking us to do these lives for a long time, so yeah, we finally have done it. A once-in-a-lifetime historic moment like this is a good reason to. If you tap on that, you can see. Annie G donated us $19.99. Thanks, Annie. Yeah.
Are the CIA claims true? You mean, are the CIA behind the protest? Well, I'm really impressed that the CIA can get 2 million people in Hong Kong. I mean, that's a bigger operation than I would have thought.
Yeah, and to be able to communicate in Cantonese. It's a very complex language. Have we explained the Remember Your Mother thing? Is that something we can even talk about?
Can a live stream be demonetized is the real question. We've come across some pretty interesting Cantonese slang that is not safe for work. Like the freedom one we just learned about earlier today too. Yeah.
Matt, what is your opinion on our ability to describe Remember Your Mother? Matt's coming on.
I think that we can describe what the swear words are without having to actually say them. Do you think that our audience might understand what those might be?
Our audience is pretty sophisticated, so I think they'll figure it out.
Okay.
So, one we just saw, a guy was holding a sign that said freedom, followed by...
Oh, you want to start with that one?
Well, which is better to start with?
No. That one is not okay unless you're in England.
I can. Yeah, well, I don't have to say the word. Like use. All right.
No,
Okay,
nope,
folks. That was a
nope,
really
nope.
interesting story. Man, Shelley are a bunch of wet blankets. So
Yeah, we're
another
people.
time. Fine. Shelley, do you want to explain? Remember
Okay.
your mother?
So, there's a swear that crosses cultures about doing something to your mother. And a few
You know
days
the
ago, there was a reporter who was, confronting a police officer for basically pepper spraying and tear gassing journalists. And then the police officer said, the rough translation is journalist your mother, except because of the first word in journalist in Chinese, Cantonese, or Mandarin is remember. So technically he said remember your mother, but it was more kind of like journalist my butt, kind of, or journalist fuck. Oh!
Well, all right. Boy, I could have told my freedom sign story without letting an F-bomb out. The problem with the show is Shelley. So yeah, the journalist was like, I'm a journalist, don't pepper spray me. And he was like, journalist my butt. Wow, that was much easier to say than like it dropping an F-bomb. Easy. Okay, so
do you want to explain how this became a thing?
can
then?
I trust you to carry on?
Yes. So
All right.
then this
If
became,
you're young, cover your ears. Shelley's a potty mouth. I'm gonna stick some soap in there later.
Okay, so then this became kind of a badge of honor used by the journalists. Some of them were putting like that slogan on their, press helmets and stuff like that.
Journalist your mother.
Journalist your mother. And then people were kind of using like verb your mother for different things. Like after Carrie Lam said that they were going to postpone the extradition bill, the theme for today's protest became postpone your mother. And also because Carrie Lam said that she was like Hong Kong's mother, more or less, when she was responding to questions earlier last week. People started to use your mother to refer to her. So this meme got like a whole nother level of, meaning, I suppose you could say. Like we just saw somebody who had drawn like it was like Carrie Lam, and then it said remember your mother on it.
Yeah.
Referring to her. So, this has legs is what I'm saying, but it's a kind of a interesting Cantonese way of slang that people had to kind of spend extensive time explaining to us.
I'm very proud that you got through all of that and only dropped one F-bomb. That's really impressive, Shelley. But so yeah, you get the idea. Journalist your mother. What?
Somebody asked if we have jet lag.
Why would you think that? Just because we've barely slept over how many days have we been awake?
What day is it?
I don't know. It's about to
Sunday.
cross into a new day soon. Thank you to everyone who's donating us. We're going to try to keep up with as much as possible. Simi L donated 118 Hong Kong dollars. Thank you very much. Space
Kiwi Kit.
Interesting. Donated 10 euros. Thank you. That's like $100 US, I think. I don't really know currency translation. This Estrada donated $4.99. Thank you so much. Yeah, definitely. Thank you,
Someone
you guys.
says save King Kong. I don't know. He's kind of big.
King Kong. Oh, it's autocorrect on our phones have been a real problem with spelling out Hong Kong.
I get Hing Kong all the time for some reason. Which
yeah,
makes no
Hing
sense.
Kong, King Kong. It's probably some censorship conspiracy. That's what I think. All right, let's see. Oh, a bunch of people are doing
okay.
stuff. Okay.
Some
Blessings from Taiwan. Thank you, Hank Cho. I'm going to say Hank Cho. Thank you. Space Wiki.
Okay, so Nixie donated 50 Canadian, thank you, and asks, how do you think this will progress in the weeks, and what will happen to Carrie Lam? Well,
That's a good
after
question.
today's literally 2 million person march, Carrie Lam, the Hong Kong government released a statement basically kind of apologizing for not listening to people.
A lame apology.
And Carrie Lam was kind of like, it was kind of like, now we understand that we hadn't listened to the people, and that's what's causing all this
Oh my
unrest.
gosh, people were upset about this?
And then, it was some kind of, in third person was like, and the chief executive promises to like listen humbly and like learn from this. So a kind of apology, an indirect apology, but people were literally calling for her to step down and resign, for people to no longer be called rioters, for the protesters, they were saying they were rioters, right, and to kind of retract that and to withdraw the extradition bill and not just postpone it. And so the government statement didn't address any of those things. So do you think that people will be satisfied with that, Chris?
Probably not, but keep in mind, if in a city of 7 million people, 2 million people come out and say we want the chief executive to resign, it's gonna be difficult for her to stay in power, I think. I'm sure her handlers in Beijing are not happy with her, and I don't think Carrie Lam will stick around very much longer. Tonight, there was kind of the fear that, like, police might fire some tear gas again, but there's just so many people here. Like, the number of police here are completely dwarfed.
Yeah, I mean, when we came, we kind of like followed the protest here, and then like around 8 o'clock we went back to our hotel to like dump our footage, try to get something to eat. We came back out here at 9. People were still coming in from the march. Like literally they were still kind of filing in here. And there's so many people, and even if only like a tenth of the number of people who marched are here now, it's still, we have hundreds of thousands of people behind us. And in front of us, there's like, they're basically occupying the same 8-lane highway that they were during the Occupy Central / Umbrella Movement protests in 2014.
That was my joke at the beginning. We're coming to you from a 8-lane highway. Oh. This was when we were coming up with the idea of a live stream. Now we are not on an 8-lane highway. But boy, wouldn't it have been fun to have a live stream on a highway? The internet, what didn't work there?
No, there's about 200,000 people back there trying to use the internet. So.
Yeah, we're back in 3G days now. All right, questions. Someone $20. Thank you. Samuel Baker, $10. Shelley.
Has anyone recognized you both?
Has anyone recognized us? That's a great question, Matt. Yes, people have been recognizing us constantly, and it's really been nice to see like the support they're giving us in the show, and like, well, really, it's an issue of like how thankful they are to you guys for watching and actually caring what happens in Hong Kong. That's been kind of the concern here, that like, oh, does anyone outside of Hong Kong care about this? And I keep telling them, no, like, you guys are so passionate about this. Like, all the episodes we've done about Hong Kong have done super well.
I've actually have a story about that where we were interviewing some of
no F-bombs.
Some of these, young protesters. We're talking people when they're like late teens, early 20s, and there were these girls who were asking us, we interviewed them. And then they were like, you're from America. Do people in America care about what's happening here? Do they know about what's happening here? And then I pulled up the live stream we did earlier today when we were at the main protest of 2 million people, and showed her a lot of the comments that you guys had left about, Hong Kong, like keep going, like fight for your freedom, all this stuff. And then she was really touched. She was really touched that people from, all over the world were paying attention to this.
So that's on you guys. Good job.
So Lucia Lam has donated 198 Hong Kong dollars and asked, so many stories about mothers, anything about fathers throughout your day. Happy Father's Day.
Oh yeah, happy Father's Day. So that is a good question. Like, we saw a lot of dads carrying their young children on their shoulders, carrying them in the arms and strollers. There was a lot of families here today.
Did we talk about how Chris made a baby cry during the other live stream?
Oh yeah, I tried to interview the baby and it started crying.
Yes.
In the baby's face. I was very polite. And really, considering the state of media and social media, she needs to get used to having cameras in her face and posting on social media all the time.
But we did interview their parents, and the mom and dad had some really
And they
nice
cried too. So many people cry when I approach them. It's strange.
Well, what did the dad say? There was something pretty touching.
Through the tears?
Yes. Something pretty touching, right?
I am jet lagged and dehydrated. I don't remember.
Oh, that they were saying they were here for the future generations of Hong Kong. Basically they were here for their baby.
And gave his child a lovely pat on the back. So yes, the fathers definitely have come out in force. So remember your father. Remember your father. Remember the face of your father, Roland Gilad.
Were you talking about that?
Dark Hour?
No, the Darth Vader meme.
Oh yeah, there was. So Carrie Lam did this whole thing about how, like, instead of Big Brother, she's like, I am your mother. I take care of you. So somebody did a meme of like that scene in Empire Strikes Back where like Darth Vader is like, menacing Luke after he cut off his hand and says, "I am your mother." And I think that captured the feelings people have towards Carrie Lam.
Remember your mother.
Remember your mother. Remember the face of your mother.
Okay. So let's say, what is CHF?
I have no idea what CHF currency is, but thank you, Pete Nader, for donating 50 of that currency to us.
We are uneducated Americans.
We are uneducated.
Philip Wan, Hong Kong,
$100.
Thank you.
300 new Taiwan dollars.
Oh, Hong Kongers, please from Jamie Chen. Hong Kongers, please clean out USD from banks that are controlled by the CCP. Love from Taiwan. Please send this message out. Actually, that was an interesting story that about 100 million people, $100 million had been withdrawn from the Bank of China, Hong Kong branch, in protest of what's happening right now with the Hong Kong government. So that's money talks.
Mm-hmm. And something walks.
I
know what walks.
I don't, so don't tell me.
Okay.
We actually interviewed, or Chris interviewed a hedge fund manager who
was telling.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he was telling us that like a lot of the rich people of Hong Kong want to get their money out of Hong Kong. They're afraid that as the Chinese Communist Party gains more influence, their fortunes could be at risk, and they don't trust the legal system here. So a lot of money is getting out of Hong Kong because of all this. And right now, I just want to take a moment to thank Matt, who is being a good sport, holding the camera and the lighting fixture. He was kind of bending his knees in pain from being awake. So let's all give Matt a round of applause. That's not a metaphor. I want you watching wherever you are to start clapping for Matt. Let's clap for 5 seconds.
Okay.
This is for Matt.
Hi, guys. Thank you.
So
He's
it says
restored.
Go Matt.
Yeah.
Headable Fool says go Matt. Okay.
A lot of people are saying go Matt.
Thanks, Matt.
Oh,
Clap,
they're
clap,
tapping. They're typing clap.
Or
I'm
emoji.
concerned how you're able to type clap while at the same time clapping. But what is the sound of one hand clapping?
What are the people singing? They're singing a hymn called Sing Hallelujah to the Lord. And it basically consists of the phrase "Sing Hallelujah to the Lord."
It's been on loop for 2 hours.
At least, I think actually the other day they sang it for something like 8 or 9 hours in a row. That was before we got to Hong Kong.
It's the song of the trip.
It might be. When I flew on the plane here, I watched the Lego Movie 2, where there's a song. This song's gonna get stuck inside your. The song's gonna get stuck inside your head. When you listen to "Sing Hallelujah" in an endless loop for 8 hours, that song's gonna get stuck inside your head.
So Steve Carter donated 10 pounds and said, "Keep up the great work. Thank you for the coverage. Also, Shelley's reaction to swearing was brilliant. I am so sorry."
She's a good girl. I swear she is.
Uh-huh.
I'm a good girl. I am.
She is too.
Oh! In case you didn't hear that, Matt said she swears she's a good girl too.
That was actually I'll give you that a 7.5.
There's Matt and Shelley have a ranking system for how good his puns are. He makes a lot of puns. How often do the puns get above 5?
Ooh, maybe less than 10%.
Ooh, less than 10%.
I mean, we're grading on a curve. 5 is like an 8 or a 9 for Matt. Oh, that's so
wow.
mean. I'm sorry.
Wow. First she swears and then she destroys Matt. Matt, I think your puns are lovely.
Vile23 has donated $5 and said, "Love your content. You guys are a great team. Clapping for Matt. Clapping for Matt. So that's for you, Matt." Black Eagle has donated.
Wow. $200. Thank you.
And said hello from Everett, Washington.
Well, hello back. Wow. Thank you so much.
Okay. Sir Swagalot.
Sir Swagalot. Thank you.
Has donated 200 Norwegian kroner and said, "Thank you for covering this. Shame I didn't have time to go to Oslo when you visited."
Oh yeah,
Oslo was fun and really relaxing compared to Hong Kong.
Yeah, remember when we were in Oslo 2 weeks ago?
Dang it.
We're traveling an awful lot. I need
Just wait until the Chinese Communist Party starts
when the
falling.
Chinese Communist Party. But then we got to go into mainland China, which is over a hill somewhere here, which is kind of scary.
Actually, when we came in, our taxi driver was like, "Over there is mainland China.
It's Shenzhen.
It's
over
Shenzhen,
that hill.
over that
Shenzhen.
hill." He's like warning us about the different areas.
It's actually right in front of you, a few miles that way.
A few miles that way, China, mainland China. Someday I'll go.
So, there it is. So, Zhang, that was my dad's name. Okay.
Oh, whoa.
I am from mainland, and I'm grateful for your brave action. It's a shame I cannot donate because this function is not opened in my area. Well, thank you. We appreciate the sentiment. And
that you're watching YouTube in mainland China.
Yes. I mean, you had to, jump the wall just to get here, so thank you for that. I mean, can I tell a sappy personal story?
Oh, I don't know, guys. Do you want to hear a sappy personal story from Shelley?
It's a very short 2-sentence sappy personal story. So today's Father's Day.
She gave you no choice.
My dad, if people say no, then I'll stop.
Somebody said no.
Okay. More people are saying yes.
Oh.
So my dad actually was the person who took me on my first ever protest after the Tiananmen Square massacre happened. We were already in the U.S., but the Chinese students in the U.S. were so upset. A lot of them drove down to D.C. and marched in front of the Chinese embassy. We marched around my dad's university with a bunch of other Chinese students at the time, and it was like a real feeling of unity. So I kind of remember that as being my first protest, and I think my dad passed away a couple years ago, so I think he'd be, glad to know that we're on Father's Day here in Hong Kong covering this really, really historic protest of, 2 million people. I mean, that's amazing.
That was not just a sappy story. That was a very nice story. By the way, happy Father's Day to my dad. When I was a kid, he took me to NASCAR once. And that's how I realized that even though fighting tyranny can often feel like you're going around in an endless circle, you just keep going and eventually you get to the finish line.
Wow, that was inspirational.
Yeah, that's why I'm here.
Chris, have you told your dad what's happening in Hong Kong, though?
Oh, so my parents are very nervous Nellies, and they're also very computer illiterate, so they don't really know what's happening in Hong Kong, or that there's been, protesters pepper sprayed, journalists pepper sprayed. So when I told them I was going to Hong Kong,
he was vague about it, right? You were like, I need to go on a business trip.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do some interviews, kind of see what's going on,
So he expressly avoided telling his parents how dangerous it could possibly be, right?
Yes, and I remember back in 2016 when the three of us and Alan, our other camera guy from time to time, when we took a boat to the Scarborough Shoal, disputed territorial waters between the Philippines and China, and there were Chinese Coast Guards there, and there had been cases of them ramming Filipino ships. I just didn't tell them. I didn't tell them until after I got back. Sometimes ignorance is bliss. Oh, hey, look, there's a little sticker over there of the freedom meme that I was trying to tell people about earlier.
Which one?
But oh God, no. We're going over there. I think it has the English on there. No, it doesn't.
It does. It says Freedom High.
Freedom High. The other guy signed did not say Freedom High. It said something else. Yes, which I could talk about if you guys would let me, but yeah, this really cool story I have, they don't want me to tell you. Shelley, who drops an F-bomb, is telling me that I can't tell the story, so there we go.
It's worse than an F-bomb.
I don't have to say that word. All right, what are the people saying? Today's about democracy and the people speaking their minds.
Jordan Von Boost donated 5 Australian, I would assume. And what's the general feel of Hong Kong's phase 2 if these protests aren't successful? I mean, honestly, this thing is changing day by day. We did not expect there to be 2 million people on the street.
No.
And nobody we talked to yesterday expected there to be 2 million people on the street, which is double what the organizer said last protest on Sunday was, which was already the biggest protest since the handover.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so to China. So last week was already the biggest. Now we've doubled that. Nobody expected it yesterday. A lot of the people that we talked to, the activists, they were like, it might be smaller than last time because of the government announcing
Yeah, the Carrie Lam saying like we'll postpone the bill. Like there was a fear that like that'll appease some people, so maybe not as many people will come out. Definitely not 1 million people. And they were right. It was not 1 million people. It was 2 million people. 2,000,001.
That's what some of the organizers were saying down the street when they were having like a rally, and we were like, did they translate that wrong? Did they mean 2.1 million? And then they said it in Chinese again, and also 2,000,001. I think they were joking. I think it was a little.
It might be one of those Cantonese jokes that are hard to translate. Sort of like the freedom joke that I was trying to tell, but
That was a very complicated joke.
Yeah, it's very clever.
So,
Too bad. Sorry, guys.
What was I going to say? So, what's going to happen? Nobody knows, is what I'm going to say, because we still have to see what's going to happen for the rest of the night. We've been asking some of the protesters here whether they think that the police are going to come in. And right now, there are too many people for the police to come in. Let's say there are 100,000 or more people down there. There are only 30,000 police officers in all of Hong Kong. So, we're not sure.
We're just following Matt real quick. Bunches and bunches and bunches of people. Oh.
It's actually really hard to see everybody.
Yeah. Oops. Okay. Oh, Shelley is now in a conversation with somebody, so I am the sole star of this. She's back.
How do we feel about a special guest who was there at the protest last week? Like one of our, Sean is back there.
Come again?
Being on the live stream with us.
No? Okay, no. Oh, sorry, something's in my eye. No, we should. Do you think we should probably wrap this up at this point?
Well, do you want to talk to him on camera, like the guy?
No, that's okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we could do like a proper interview if you want to. Okay.
Okay.
Well, let's just take a few more looks at the question. I think we'll probably start wrapping it up because we want to start cranking out the episodes. We filmed a bunch today, so we'd like to get at least one of those episodes up as soon as possible. So we might be up all night.
Somebody's asking if there's. Samuel Baker's asking, will there be a third Sunday of protest? We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow at this point. They've called a general strike.
Yeah, or if Carrie Lam's going to step down. The extradition bill's probably definitely postponed. Let's take one more question.
Okay. Sorry, we're a little.
Everything is slow.
What is England doing to enforce the treaty?
England is being very polite and doing nothing. Thank you, England. Just looking for. All right. Well, okay. I think that's. All right. So we'll wrap it up then. Okay. Thank you guys for joining us. This has been an incredible day for us. I mean, 2 million person strong protest. That's definitely not something you see a lot or ever in your life. So yeah, I'm glad to have experimented with these live chats. I think we'll try and do more in the future. And we're going to be still in Hong Kong for a few days, so we'll...
if it gets crazy, we might be coming to you again live tomorrow.
Yeah. So stay tuned. We'll try to announce ahead of time on Twitter and Instagram and the YouTube community that we're going to be doing this.
Several minutes ahead of time.
We'll try and be better at that. So to stay up to date, follow Shelley on Twitter, which is...
SHELZHANG.
Put an @ in front of that, and then @ China Uncensored for Twitter and the China Uncensored Facebook page, or the China Uncensored Instagram page. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for everyone who contributed to the show. That's a huge help. It's not easy for us to make these trips, so definitely your support it helps us a lot. Thank you.
And we'll try to be safe.
We will be safe, and fewer F-bombs next time. We promise.
I'm sorry.
Bye,
folks.
Never
gonna live this down.
Never gonna live it down.
No. All right.
Bye, guys.